All right, so I want to go over how to install N1MM Plus, as well as getting it up and running for like your initial usage. So let us open up your favorite web browser. I got a whole slew of them here on this desktop, and we're going to search up N1MM, and it should be your first result. Just go ahead and click on the topmost result here. All right, so we're going to go to the top here, downloads, program files, and full install. And we're going to talk about it for a second here because it's something a bit different you may not have encountered in the past when installing software. So it's the first thing is to download the full install, click here. We will do that in just a moment, but let's read ahead because there's a little warning here. Are you new to N1MM? We are. So installing it for the first time is a two-step process, and that might be something that you're not used to. This is only a one-time thing. After you do this once, when you run the program in subsequent times, there is no two-step. Um, First, you download and run the full install. It says that's fine. We're going to do that in a moment. And then, before running the program for the first time, after installing the base install, you need to run an update first. Now, in future times, when you go to run the program, you'll open it up and it'll check automatically if there's any updates. And if there are, then it'll say, hey, you okay if we download this? You'll download it from within the program. It'll install it all by itself, and it's really nice. But the first time that we install here, it's a two-step thing. So the first thing we do is to download full install, click here. Let's do that. And we see there's only one option. They only put the latest file out here so you don't get tripped up. So let's go ahead and click on that. And we'll wait. Oh, yeah, we want to download, hit download button. All right, give that a moment. Perfect. What we'll do is then we'll click down here, or however you want to open your files, to install. So one click here. All right. Now you can't see it on the screen here, but my screen, it's asking me for permissions. Are you sure you want to install this? Yes, I do. Here we go. Okay, so let's go ahead. We can next through almost everything here, I believe. Oh yeah, I've read this user information. It's an awesome disclaimer. Yep, there's only one component to install. That's the logger. Go ahead and do that. Choose your destination. Personally, I'll just use my default one here because we're not getting that fancy. And it wants to know where it wants to put my user files. Sure, all the default stuff here, unless you really have specific needs, should be just fine to hit next and install all the way through. So we're doing it. Wait for it to finish up here. Shouldn't take too long. Extracting windings. Good grief. That like the mailbox and the bomb and the little letter thing. All right, so it is complete. I will hit next. Finish and reboot the computer. You know what? We're not going to do that right now. We're going to be a rebel and we're just not going to reboot. Um, Hit finish. It looks like it wants to open probably a, yeah, one of these things. Don't need it. Whatevs. Okay, now remember, we got to do the two-step thing. So now we need to install the update file. So we're going to go back to downloads, program files. Let's go to latest update files. Now there's a few options here. Um, we want the latest one. So the file name itself contains the date that it was released. Here's one for March 8th. It's currently March 9th when I'm recording this. So this is the latest one. I'm going to go ahead and grab it. Yep. And if you really want to, it does tell you all the changes. Most of the changes regarding updates deal with definitions of the contest rules that are included in this. So we're downloading the update. I see it down here in the corner. It's almost done. Wait for the icon to change over. There we go. And I'm going to click it once. Again, you can't see it, but my screen's asking for permissions. I'll hit yes. And we're going to next, next. Yep, I'm installing the update, install. Boom. Now it says, do you want to run the logger? We might as well because we took care of the requirements for the two-step process. Installed the base install, installed the update. Now for the first time we can run the program. So let's do it. Again, it's trying to open up the like the change log, whatever. Just close it. Shenanigans. Okay. So from this screen here, this only pops up one time. This is the first time we're running the program, so this is the only time we're going to see this option here. it is thinking, or at least giving us the option of thinking, that we're coming from a different installation of N1MM Plus. I guess back in the day, it was handled a different way. This is saying, hey, do you have old files you want to convert? We don't. If you do, then you've used this before, and you don't need my video. So let's create a new N1MM Plus Logger database. Sure, yeah. And does it, do I hit OK again? I might just close it out in a second. Oh, okay, good. Starting up. And I believe the first screen we get, yes, it says here, set up your station info in the config and station. So let's do that. Let me close some stuff off. First, is Windows is asking, do you want to make a firewall exception? Yeah, why not? All right, let's close. Okay, here we go. Now, we need to make a new database. The way this program handles logging is you make a separate database for just about everything that you do, which is fine because then everything's organized, right? So it wants to know a generic log file or database for everyday stuff you're going to be doing. Let's just call it ham. It says ham's already in there. Boom, just make it ham. Let's not make it hard for ourselves. It's telling us again to set up our station info, and we're going to do that. How nice, it pops open for you right away. So let's go ahead, fill out everything you possibly can. We'll do that here right now. Why not, huh? And I'll tell you why, because when you submit your logs, if you submit logs, which if you're getting this far installing the program, you probably do want to submit a log sometime. All this information is populated over into the logs that you submit, and you don't have to enter on the websites for the different contests. If by some chance you might win an award or something, they use this information to then um, send you your stuff. So let's just really quickly, I know I'm only putting it in because if I don't, it won't let me get past the thing here. So how boring is it to watch me do this, right? Country, USA. Okay, grid square. If you don't know your grid square, go ahead and look it up online. There's many websites for it. Try to get 6 characters for it. There's almost endless characters in a grid square because it pinpoints it down super close. But I happen to know that I'm Foxtrot November 10 XC. My CQ zone is it 8? ITU zone is 5. If you don't know yours, you can look it up on your QRZ page. I believe that's populated over there for you. I'm pretty sure it's 8 and 5. If it's not, we'll figure it out. License, you can put in whatever you are. I'll put in extra. Latitude, longitude. If you notice, the latitude, longitude was automatically populated when I started typing in my grid square. So not that important really. Now this is just some information kind of about your station. You might see this, what they call the soapbox. Sometimes when you submit a log to a contest, it'll say at the bottom, do you have any comments you want to make? And they call it the soapbox. And that's when you would say, hey, I had a great time. You know, next year I'll do better, or yeah, whatever. So station TX and RX, let's just do 100 watts. Is that what they want to know? No, it's not. Oh, they want to know my radio, right? Sure. And my power, 100 watts. Antenna, I run a Cobra dipole. Cobra. Antenna height, 25 feet. ASL. Is this like old school America Online? Nah, leave it alone. ARRL section. If you're watching this video regarding the Red Rose Club, we are an EPA, unless you're somewhere else watching this, but probably that. Rover QTH, don't worry about it. Club, you can put in Red Rose if you want, or your club, whatever club you're in. And then your email address, that's kind of important. Let's do this. All right, exciting. And then hit OK. Cool beans. Here is the logging window. There's a lot of buttons on it. Let's go ahead and take away almost all those buttons because we just do not need them. I'm going to make my window a little bit wider just because I think it looks nicer. Maybe like around there. All right, so I'm going to right click in this area here, just this light blue area, and we're going to take away a few things, okay? We don't need the function key panel. No, I don't need that. I don't need the action buttons, okay? I don't need bearing information. Bearing information, if you were running a rotor with a directional antenna, that's what you'd want to use the bearing one to find out what heading to aim your beam at. Show, what's this one? User information? Sure, whatever. Okay, now we just got the generic box here. This is kind of what we want. So let us pretend we're going to be running a contest. So remember how we find those? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and find one. Contest calendar. Is it .com or .net? There we go. And remember, we're going to check out the 8-day. Cool. What's happening here? Let's just look at this weekend. Now this is this weekend, as in what we are right now. Let's find one. How about this? Oklahoma QSO party is a good one. Oh, you know what? We're going to have, there's two QSO parties on this weekend, Oklahoma and Idaho. So I'm going to show you a little trick, but let's go ahead and call it the Oklahoma QSO party first. So we're going to go to File. We want to have a new database. I know we're already in the ham database, but let's not log a contest in there. We want our own database for this own contest that we're going to be participating in. So new database. What do you want to call it? Personally, to organize them, I give the year and then I give the contest name. It's easy for me. So 2022, OK QSO party. All right, and we're going to go ahead and save that. Are we ready to go? Not quite, because now we this would be a little bit weird. We have a database and we're going to put context in it, but we need to have a log in that database. The reason behind this, from what I can understand, because I'm not too concerned about it, but for an explanation purposes, the reason I think is you can make a whole bunch of contexts in the database, but then let's say you want to submit a QRP log. Then I'll show you here. You configure your log to look like, for QRP, or if you're running high power versus low power, you can make a different log within that database. You could take the existing contacts and then make a log out of it. But let's just go ahead. We'll go to File, New Log in Database 2022. OK, QSO party. Sure. All right. Put this in the center of my screen a little bit for you. So what are we doing? What type of log is this? It is going to be, and here's all the contests that are in here, which is a lot. If you're used to N3FJP, you download a separate program for every single contest. This you don't. It's one program and it has all the contests. That's why there's many updates to the program pretty often, because they're updating the contest rules and whatever else, because the program knows the rules for the contests. So if you enter something you shouldn't, it's going to tell you, hey dummy, you screwed up. So we're doing a QSO party, right? A state QSO party. It should be under, I think it's S for, yeah, QSO party. Here it is. QSO parties, US and Canada. That's us. Now, on the right side, it wants to know which state are you going to be fiddling with. We're fiddling with Oklahoma, LMNOP. Here we go. Boom. All right. Now, here's where we fill out how we're going to be operating. Okay. And this program knows what to expect. So, first thing, there's a lot of options here, but really, we're going to get through them. Are you a single op? Yep, it's just me in my house, so I'm not going to change this. What band will I be operating on? I mean, does it matter? Well, it might for you. I have an antenna that handles multiple bands. Thus, I'm probably going to go ahead and do all. Now, am I going to be operating at 1.2 gigahertz? No, I ain't going to be doing that. But at least I know that I'm not restricting myself. Some contests allow you to enter a certain category for just one band. Maybe you have a really super awesome 15-meter directional antenna and you want to work a contest just 15 meters. Sometimes they have an award for people that do best on just 15 meters. But I'm doing all. Okay, now my power. Am I high or what am I? Let's look at what the definition is. Chances are, I mean, I'm 100 watts, I'm going to be low. It's usually always low. But let's look so we know what we're going to be choosing. How about Oklahoma QSO party? All right. Max power. Here's the power stuff. So if you're 5 watts, you're QRP. If you're up to 100 watts, you're low power. If you're anything over 100 watts, you are high power. Me, I'm low power. So let's change that low. Now, mode. This wants to know what mode you're going to be in. Just like with the bands, maybe you're only entering a digital category. Maybe you're entering everything. Maybe you just do CW. So here's all the options. It looks like it knows, right? I'm looking up here at classes on the screen. No, I'm sorry, mode. So they don't want FT8. That's fine. Me personally, I'm gonna do, I might do all of them. Why not? Maybe I'll do some PSK or something. So let's just do all. Don't worry about overlay. We're not doing that for any contest. You can look more into it. I believe those are like subcategories for certain things. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. Station. Are you fixed? Are you portable? Blah, blah, blah. If you're at your house and you're doing this, you're sitting at your computer, you're sitting at your home station, you're going to be fixed. Okay. You're a fixed station. That's the default. Here's the other one, assisted versus non-assisted. Some contests track this and some don't. What does this mean? Assisted means you use any kind of device or website or service to check where people are on the bands, like a spotting network or pardon me, or a cluster, to find out where to spin your dial to find specific stations. That's assistance. Is it bad? Well, it's not bad. There might be a separate category for it. So people you're comparing yourself to in your scores are also using assistance. If you're just going to be spinning the dial and you're going to hear who you hear, or maybe you have a waterfall on your dial and you just use your waterfall to kind of see where people are talking, that's quite fine. That's not assistance. You are going to. I personally try to run non-assisted. I think it's fun. I just spin the dial and see who I hear. How many transmitters do I have? Well, I got one. I ain't that fancy. Now, the program knows the exchange to expect. So it's saying here, my exchange I will be sending people will be Pennsylvania or Papa Alpha in this case. So looking over at the website, here's the exchange. If you're in Oklahoma, you're going to give a signal report 5-9. Remember, it's always 5-9 in the contest. And then the county. So we are non-Oklahoma. We're giving 5-9 in our state. So that's right. The program's right. We're going to be giving our state. Who's operating this? I'm operating this. It's me. Got my call sign in it. The soapbox, this would be a comment that you would add that would be uploaded along with your log. There may be a chance to do it later if you want. Most of the time, it's not even read or nothing's done with it. So looks good to me, right? We can change this later if we screw it up. We can open up we can make a new log. Remember, we make a new log in the database, change what we want, and then it'll port everything over. So anywho, okay. Now it's just telling me, it's confirming what we're doing. I'm entering the party as an out-of-state participant because my call sign begins with a US prefix of K, although it's W, but K is for the US, and my section's EPA. Now, if my section was Oklahoma or whatever they have over there, the program would recognize, hey, you must be in the state, but I'm not. All right. If this is wrong, go ahead and change your call sign data. Boom. All right, so we're good. All right, I got everything ready to go, and I'm ready to start logging. There are some windows that we can open if you really want to. Let's see here. I'm going to just move some things around just to make it a little bit prettier, and you can move what you want to move as well. So what? So I'm using a trackpad. Anywho, all right. I open up one more. I open up the score. I think it's kind of fun to look at score summary. All right. So what are we doing? We're ready to start logging. Some buttons on the screen, just so you know what they are. This SMP and run. SMP is search and pounce. Run is when you sit on a frequency and call CQ yourself. This doesn't affect anything with your logging. You can click either button, it doesn't matter. Remember, this program is used for like super enthusiastic people that contest the whole weekend until their butt goes numb. If you do that, that's great. I do not do that. Um, this keeps track of like how many QSOs a minute you get. Are you ahead or behind from last hour? It's just for tracking purposes. Don't even worry about it. Okay. Now, you're going to notice if you do cat control for your rig, and I highly recommend that you do. If you don't and you want to learn how, please ask me. I'll be happy to run you through it. I think it's the coolest thing to be able to hook up your radio to your computer and have each device control the other. Like when I turn my VFO knob on my radio, it'll update this program so it knows where I already am, and when I log it, the frequency's already in there. Likewise, if I want to change frequencies, maybe to a whole different band, or if I'm using that spotting stuff, I can enter a command here on my computer, and it'll go ahead and tune my radio to that frequency. I think it's really cool. Anywho, so some things that took me a little while to learn is that this white box where you type in your call signs for everything also acts as your input for commands to control the program a little bit. So right now, it'll tell you the top window. It thinks I'm at 14,200 upper sideband. I'm not. And I can tell you that because I don't have my computer hooked up to this radio. This is a fresh install, so that's whatever, right? So let's say I want to operate on 40 meters. So I'm going to type in, I think if I type in, do I type in 40? Does that do it? It does not. Type in the frequency that you want to go to. So let's say I'm going to be, well, you can just do 7,000, right? When you submit a log for a contest, none of the contests, as far as I know, and I could be wrong, care which specific frequency you're on. They just want to know what band you're on. In fact, I don't have one here I can show you, but if you open up the log file when you're done, what you've just generated, the Cabrillo file, you're going to see all the frequencies are listed as 7,000, 14,000, 21,000. It's just the very lowest number of the band that you're operating on, that you're working that station on. So if you want to enter specific frequencies as you go along, totally fine. And I'll show you in a moment how to do that. So I'm on 40 meters. Let's say I'm on, oh, and look, at the top of the thing here, change it to lower sideband because it knows. Let's say for some dumb reason I'm on upper sideband on 40 meters. I'm going to type in USB right here. It changed it. You see that? I'll go back to LSB. Let's say I've decided I'm going to operate some CW. I'm going to type in CW and go from there. Um, Here's a question for you, or a thing for you. I don't know what to put in for digital. Um, I think it might be PSK. We'll have to look that one up. I don't know. Um, Dig? Digi? D? No, D is Germany. We'll just figure it out. But that's a thing. Um, let's pretend I'm making a contact. I'm going to be on lower sideband. I'm going to contact, let's do this first. Let's say I want to actually put in the accurate proper frequency that I'm on. Let's pretend I'm on 7. Now don't put any periods in, like 7192, okay? And maybe I contacted my dad. That's him. I have his call sign in the thing, right? This is the call sign of someone I'm about to work. I'm gonna hit spacebar. Spacebar is gonna move me through the other fields. Remember, we give everybody 5 nines. Everyone's gonna give me a 5 9. So the program knows that. Hitting spacebar accepts the call sign you just put in, skips the junk you don't need to worry about, which is the signal report. And now it wants the exchange. All right. Now, my dad lives in New York, not in Oklahoma, but let's pretend he's in Oklahoma. You know something? I don't know any Oklahoma counties. Let's see. Is there a way to? There's a way to do this, isn't there? Hold on. How about multipliers? Counties? Sometimes it tells you. Huh. All right, hold on. Let's just really quick. Let's figure it out. Let's go to the rules page and find out a name of one of the counties. Um, Counties. Here we go. The reason why we need to is if we put the wrong thing in, it's going to tell you that it's wrong. I'm going to show you. So here's Adair County. ADA is the thing for that. So if I type in, what if I do the whole thing? Is that how you spell it? ADAIR. Will that let me do it? It won't. It doesn't like it. It wants the abbreviation for it, which we saw was ADA. Boom. All right. Here's all the abbreviations for the different counties, the 3-letter abbreviations. And you saw too how I did it wrong and it told me. All right. Close this off here. Let's look at what happened. So the program logged KD2QPP, the frequency that I was on, because I told it where I was on, the signal reports, even though they're bogus, the mode, which in this case lower sideband, the exchange, which they gave me ADA. There's a checkbox here. I'll talk about that in a moment. And here's it's worth two points. You can head over to the score summary. It says here I've got 1 QSO so far on 40 meters, worth 2 points. And if it shows it, that M is a multiplier. This is how you get all your big old points. Oh, why are there 2 windows here? Once this list starts to populate with a whole bunch of different call signs, you may be working the same people twice, which that's not always a dupe. And should have talked about that at the meeting. Let's look really quick at the contest calendar and see what I'm talking about. Oklahoma QSO party. So workstations once per band per mode. That's pretty good. You can get a lot. You can get a lot of points then. And the multipliers would be each state. I'm sorry, we're not Oklahoma. OK counties once. So I'm throwing a lot of info here at one time. Multiplier. There's a red checkbox here because this is the first time I've worked somebody in Adair County. If I work somebody else in Adair County, I still get 2 points, but I don't get the multiplier for it. So let's pretend I'm working someone else. Let's say I'm working Ralph, right? Let's say he's also in Adair County. So check this out. I have 2 points for his contact, but I don't get the multiplier again. So what's my score? My score is 4. How'd that happen? You don't have to worry about it. The program does all the math for you regarding your score, but it's going to be the number of points you have times your multipliers. So here's a little cheat sheet. I have 2 total contacts down here, and I have 1 multiplier. So 2 times 2 is 4. Let's do another one. Let's say I'm working Bob. All right. And let's say he was in, I saw Pitt was one of the things, right? All right, so look, I have another multiplier now. I have my first contact from whatever this is, Pittsburgh County, we'll say. So now my score is 12. How'd that happen? I have 3 total contacts. Each one's worth 2 points. So I have 2, 4, 6, and then times 2 is 12. Okay, that's how we get the score of 12. Now let's do some other stuff. Let's say here I forgot to change the frequency I was on, and I want that to be accurate. It doesn't have to be. Remember, the contest does not care what specific frequency you're on. They just want to know what band you're on. So I can go ahead and double click on this, and I can change it to whatever I want. Let's say I was on 189. Cool. Okay. Let's say to oh wait, I talked about this window down here. So I can work people on multiple bands, multiple modes, and that's okay. So I would not want to work my dad again on 40 meters voice. I've already done that. That's a dupe. If he was on 80 meters voice, that counts, and that'll get me 2 more points. Or actually now more than that, because each contact is now worth what? 2 times 2 times 2, right? They're worth 4 points each right now. They're worth 4 points each. That's how the multipliers work. So other contacts you have with the same people, or even some of the same prefixes will show up down here. Let's say I'm working my dad again. Let's say I'm on CW now. See, I typed in CW, it changed it over, and I'm at 7.0. Oh, nope, there's no point. Let's say 33. Okay. And we're going to do my dad again here. QPP. See, as I type it in, it pops over here, says, hey, you've worked this guy already. That's okay. It's not a dupe. And I'll show you what happens because there'll be red letters here saying dupe. And my dad is still in the same county. He's not a rover. Remember, a rover is a station that moves around from county to county. I'm going to hit enter on that. So let's check out what happened over here. First of all, it shows both contacts with this station down here. Okay, all contacts up at the top, the specific ones down here with the same stations. Notice how I guess CW QSOs are worth 3 points, right? Let's just double check here to make sure we're not crazy. QSO points. Here we go. 3 points per digital or CW QSO. All right, sounds good. So I don't get the bonus again, the multiplier, because remember it's each county once, no matter how many times, no matter what band, what mode. But I get 3 points. Now my score's 18. Cool. If you change things around here, let's say I have the mode wrong on Bob's. I can do a couple things. I can type in CW in here, I believe, right? Okay. Now that that's done, hit this rescore button over here, and it should update and give me the extra couple points, or the extra point rather, for having a CW QSO. If you don't like double clicking, you can, I think, right click on the line and go to edit contact. The same stuff that we see on the previous log is also in here, so we can change stuff around if we really need to. I really need to find out what the mode is, how to change that to digital. I'm not sure what that one is. I do know how to. You know what? I will find out, and if when I post this, I'll make a note down in the comments. I'm going to put it on YouTube as a private link. I'll put a note in the comments, and I know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to pretend to log a digital contact using a program, and I'll try to see what happens. But I will put an answer down there for you guys. So where are we? I think we're good, right? What's next on here? Um, all right. So let's say we are done, and we're all done. This is all we've done the whole weekend. We're done with the contest. What do we want to do? We want to do two things. We want to generate two log files. Why? The first log file, if you use Logbook of the World or QRZ.com, you can download an actual ADIF file to upload your log to your log of choice. So file, export, export ID ADIF to file, export ADIF to file. All right, here's where you would call it whatever you want. W3AVP.ADI, fine, done, saved. Okay. Then I can upload this to my favorite place of choice. You can also use this to make those nice QSO maps. I think it's what, QSOmaps.org, the ones that show all the lines that people use for PODA and stuff. This is the file you would use for that. But you can't submit that for a contest. You need to submit the actual like Cabrillo file. So file, generate Cabrillo file. It's just letting me know, hey, by the way, you sent the exchange of PA, right? Yep, I did. And it's just saying, hey, are you sure you're single op, non-assisted, one transmitter, all bands, mixed modes, low power, fixed station. My goodness, those are all the options that we use those drop-down menus for, right? Yep, that looks good to me. Hit yes. Now it wants to know, where do you want to save the log file, .log. It is very, very, very standard, and I think across the board, that a log file submitted for a contest is your callsign.log. Okay, so yes, that's what we're going to do. Now, I personally save my logs in a different directory than the default one. I made like a logs folder on my desktop. I throw them all in there. What I just did, I just saved it in the default area. So be mindful. I don't want you to lose your files. Okay. Export's complete. It's saying here that if you really wanted to, it can like email it and do stuff through it right here. No, we're not going to do that. Just hit cancel. It's fine. All right. So your Cabrillo file is saved. In fact, can we find it? I want to show it to you, right? It was in documents, logger, export files. All right, so here's the log. Remember I said that, um, where's, all right, fine. I missed Notepad. Here's what this file looks like. And you remember, oh, it's funny because I just told you one thing and here it's showing another. It is showing the actual frequencies that you used. The ones that I've seen in the past, it just shows 7,000, 14,000. Don't worry about it, okay? Here's the header for this file. Look, here's all the stuff that we put in earlier. Name, address, all that good stuff, okay? That's it. Claimed score is what your program shows you, what you are expecting to get as your score. You may see deductions in your score because of logging errors, or maybe someone else is logging error. Maybe you logged it just fine, the other guy screwed it up. Well, then neither of you get points. Um, so this might be adjusted here. A whopping 20 points. Go me. So let's pretend we're going to submit this, right? Let's go to the contest page. This one happens to say to submit, email your logs to here. All you do is just attach it. Okay, that's why you put your call sign as the log name. Before we go, let's do one more thing. Remember, I mentioned there's a second contest on this weekend. I want to show you a trick. I believe it was Idaho, right? Let's see here. There's a couple actually. Yeah, there's Wisconsin too. Let's do Idaho's. So watch this. Let's go to, leave this open, and let's go to File, New Database, and we're going to call it 2022 Idaho QSO Party. Everything's gone away, which is fine. And we're going to go to New Login Database. Let's go ahead. Remember, we're going to do a state QSO party again. Go down to Q. I have to show you how to remove a some stuff here in a second. Just thought about that. Elemental QSO party. Okay. What are we doing? Idaho, right? ID. Oh, look, a bunch of options went away. So we're doing single op. I'm just looking at what the options are here. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that single op just means unassisted. That's fine. Bands, I'll do them all. Power, I'm probably going to be low. Let's look though, just to make sure. Well, look at this. Low power is up to 150. Well, I'm still low. And then there's digital here, but I'm just going to do sideband and CW this time. It looks like it's the same exchange. Pennsylvania, we're going to get counties from the Idahoians. All right, now here's the cool thing. This is confirming who we are and what we're doing. All right, now check this out. Let's pretend I'm going to work someone else. Let's say I'm going to work. Let's say Doug went out to Idaho. Let's change this first. Let's go to 14 230. Let's say Doug is being rude and transmitting his voice over the SSTV channel. Naughty naughty. I guess I'm even naughtier for responding to him, right? So I'm going to work Doug. Oh shoot, I don't know what Idaho wants. Hold on. Let's do this. This shouldn't be hard to find out. Idaho County list. Here we go. How about Canyon County? All right, great. So here's Doug. He's in Canyon County. I logged him. Look at that. I get a multiplier, right? In fact, for fun, I know I'm kind of getting sidetracked. What is their thing here? Points. 1 point for voice, 2 points for CW and digital. Multipliers. Each state, Providence. I'm sorry. Who cares? Here we go. Non-ID. Sorry. Each Idahoan county once per mode. So that's a little bit different. So I can get bonus points. Let's say I work Doug on CW, I work Doug on voice. I get the multiplier twice. That's pretty slick. Anywho, what I wanted to show you was there's two contests on that weekend. So I can go to File and check this out. Here's the ones I was just working. Here's Idaho's QSO party, which is open now. Here's the one in Oklahoma. If I click that really quick, it it closes off the Idaho one and pops over to this one. So let's say we're spinning the dial and we hear someone who's from Idaho. Oops, I'm in the wrong one. I can just go to File, find out the Idaho one. See, it says Idaho here. Now I'm ready to log somebody from the Idaho QSO party. There was a Wisconsin party there. Exact same thing. I could put a third one in there and rotate between all three of them if I really, really wanted to. Um, I wanted to show you. I should have done this a lot earlier. I wanted to show you what to do if you enter stuff in here, and it's not what you want. How do you clear it out easily? Let's say my dad is also in Idaho. Oops. You know what? I don't want to log him actually. I could go ahead and backspace or use my mouse, but let's keep my hands on the keyboard. This is kind of cumbersome. Alt+W for wipe. Alt+W clears the thing out. In other programs, Escape does. It does not here, but Alt+W for wipe will clear things out pretty easily. And I also wanted to show you about the whole dupe thing. So remember, I can work each station once per band per mode, I think it said. So I could work Doug on sideband, which I already did according to this, or I could do CW. So let's say that I find Doug later on and I go back again and I'm going to work this guy. Hold on, I am not getting my stuff right. Right? There we go. So I have the same band, the same mode, and I put his call sign in. The letters turn gray, it says dupe. It says, hey, you've already worked them. That's where I would hit. I could backspace or I could, Alt+W if I wanted to. But remember, if I'm on CW and I try to work Doug again, that's okay. That's not a dupe. Look at this too. When I hit spacebar, the computer knew that my last entry for him was from Canyon County. It's assuming he hasn't moved. He could have, but I'm going to confirm that he didn't. And then I can log that. So this is nice because there was a contest last weekend regarding the exchange was the power in watts of the station you were contacting. So it was kind of nice that as I found the same stations on multiple bands, I already had their power in there, so I kind of knew what to expect. All right, that's that. Oh, one more thing. Let's say you've got a rover A rover is a station that moves around during the contest. Or you have someone who's on county line. That would be someone who actually is physically set up on the line of two counties for a state QSO party. So you're actually getting points for both counties. How do we enter that? Let's go back here again and find out some of the Idahoan things. So let's find two. Let's find Coup and Lat. All right. So let's say let's use my dad's call sign again here. Okay, Coup, and I believe you hit slash lat. So check that out. I logged two counties at the same time, and I got two entries in my database for my dad twice. I've also got two multipliers. Why? Because this is the first time I've worked both those counties. Pretty cool. Remember, if I wanted to change the frequency, I can go ahead and do that right from here. Okay. Um, let's say that, let's get a different call sign out here. Let's say Bobby is over there in Idaho, and Bobby has found a four-way split of four counties at once. Quite possible. Coup, Lat, what else we got? Find me two more here. Valley and Washington. Val? Is it was? I didn't even look. Hold on. Yeah. So here's Bobby on a four-corner split. Check that out. Now just logs all four of those at once. Okay, you could, you don't have to, but don't make four separate entries. Make just the one, put the four things in there, or three or two. But the slash, you want to use a slash to go ahead and do those. Now look at this too. It's showing me that I've worked Bobby on these four times. So he's in my log up here, and then he's also down here at the bottom. All right. I think that's about it. Um, please feel free to message me or ask any questions. I'll be happy to walk you through it. It's a super robust program, but I think it's pretty easy to use, really. I don't think I missed anything. And I'll try to find out about the digital mode thing too. Okay. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to your questions, and I look forward to seeing your scores too. See ya.